Hello viewers, today I wish to clarify whether the government departments or public sector undertakings would come under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. Many consumers are raising their doubts whether the department's negligence can be questioned in consumer court. We cannot blanket say that government departments also would come under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. Actually, a few years ago, there was a judgment that the fees or the taxes paid to the government are not consideration for availing services of the department. That means a taxpayer, according to that judgment, is not a consumer. Similarly, some charges are collected in the name of fees, license fees. In the judgment, it is said that imposing tax is the sovereign authority of the government. So they cannot be treated as consideration for receiving the services of that particular department. Similarly, when the Supreme Court disposed of a medical negligence case, the judgment said that those who have taken treatment from the government hospitals, such services do not come under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act because they don't collect any charges for giving treatment. That is the reason why government hospitals are exempted from the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. But this judgment will not extend to all the other departments. When the department collects specific amount of money for rendering that particular service, and if there is any deficiency in rendering such service, definitely such deficiencies would come under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. For instance, if a person applies to survey their land, so in advance the department collects charges for rendering that service. Suppose if the department negligently delays the survey, by which the consumer suffers any loss, he can definitely approach consumer court for deficiency in service against the government department and also seek compensation from the department. There was an order that this is the amount paid as consideration to survey the land, so they are very much under the ambit of the Consumer Protection Act. Likewise, if the consumer pays some specific amount exclusively to avail that service from the government department, undoubtedly, if there is any deficiency in their service, that can be questioned and a complaint can be filed in consumer commissions. In some cases, it was held that in case of non-supply of water or supply of contaminated water is not under the purview of the Consumer Protection Act because they collect the amount as water tax. When taxpayer is not consumer, naturally some consumer forum decided that these transactions are out of the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. But in one consumer forum, it is so decided when the municipality fails to provide water connection after collecting the relevant charges from the consumer, when the consumer made a complaint to the consumer forum, the order was in favor of consumer. The Consumer Commission said, having collected the money, when the municipality fails to provide the water connection, definitely it is a deficiency in service, and ordered the municipality to immediately give him the connection and pay him some compensation. So when we look at these kind of judgments, definitely we can say that government departments are not exempted. Actually, this Consumer Protection Act applies only to goods and services, nothing else. And in service, unless the government specifically exempts some services either given by a government department or a private party, all those services would come under the ambit of Consumer Protection Act. So, when we take this analogy, definitely government departments also would come under the purview of the Consumer Protection Act. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to our Gora Viniyogi channel presented by Dr. Samaram Multi-Channel Network, which has more than 18 crore views, and click the bell icon for notification of our new videos.
Please download Samaram Multi-Channel app and watch your favorite channels from your mobile. App available on Google Play Store and subscribe to the channels.